Hi everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on how to measure and report your climate data. I am Keelan McCone, Head of Environment at Business and Community in Northern Ireland, and I'll be guiding you through today's session. I'm also joined by my lovely colleague Hannah, who's on hand to help. I have a few slides to cover. Please pop your questions into the Q&A, and I have to admit the Q&A function isn't actually working for me, but Hannah's going to copy over the questions so that I can see them. Today's webinar is being recorded and the recording will be shared on our website. And as I said, we will address any questions at the end of the webinar. I do expect today's session to last around 30 minutes, so we're just going to get started. So firstly, a brief introduction to business and the community for those of you who aren't familiar with us. Business and the Community is Northern Ireland's only dedicated network for responsible business. We have over 270 member organisations, and we offer these members tailored support and specialised expertise to help businesses strengthen and advance their responsible businesses practices. When we talk about responsible business, we mean one that creates long-term value for all of its stakeholders by reducing the negative impact and making a positive difference to society and the environment. Our work is shaped by three key pillars: people, planet and place. My team and I focus on the planet pillar, supporting businesses to take meaningful action on environmental sustainability. Under our planet pillar, we focus on three main campaign areas. The first is business action on climate. This includes our climate action pledge, but it also includes all of our training and advisory services, covering everything from carbon literacy training and climate workshops and our climate action programme. We'll be looking in more detail at the climate action pledge in today's session. Next, our environmental benchmarking survey. This is the region's leading environmental benchmarking tool. It helps organisations to assess and compare and improve their environmental performance. It also recognises those organisations taking meaningful action on environmental issues. The survey is currently open until the end of June. It's free to participate and open to all businesses in Northern Ireland. If you would like to participate, please do reach out to us. And finally, over to our nature and biodiversity. So we run the Business and Biodiversity Charter, and this offers a clear framework to help organisations engage with nature and recognises efforts that they have addressed nature. We also offer an Introduction to Biodiversity workshop, which helps businesses to understand biodiversity and why it's critically important for both society and business to drive forward nature positive change. If any of these programmes are of interest, feel free to get in touch with us at environment@bitcni.org.uk. And before we get into the details of the pledge, it is important to mention that our Business Action on Climate campaign is guided by a steering group made up of representatives from business and the community member organisations, along with DAERA and DFE. The logos of these organisations are all on the screen now. This group plays a key role in shaping the campaign strategy and content and driving real change across Northern Ireland. Their support is vital, and without them, the Climate Action Pledge would not be possible. So now let's talk about the Climate Action Pledge. By signing up, your organisation commits to three key actions. The first is reporting your greenhouse gas emissions to us on an annual basis, reviewing your progress against your targets each year, and thirdly, to implement a strategy to meet those targets. When I mention targets here, I'm referring to what you can see on your screen on the left. The pledge involves a commitment to reduce your absolute Scope 1 and 2 greenhouse gas emissions by either 30% or 50% by 2030. It also includes a commitment to begin measuring and reducing your Scope 3 emissions. These reductions are measured against a baseline year, which can be any year from 2015 onwards. Now, while we ask for reduction targets for Scope 1 and 2, we recognise Scope 3 is much more complex. So at this stage, we're not asking for full measurement of Scope 3, but we are asking you to start the process. That could mean engaging with your suppliers and customers to identify where your biggest Scope 3 emissions lie and begin to explore how you will measure and reduce them over time. And so far, we have 110 organisations have signed the Climate Action Pledge and have set and are working to achieve these greenhouse gas reduction targets, which will contribute to Northern Ireland reaching its net zero goals. And I am aware that the slide says 109, but as of this morning, we have 110 organisations. At Business in the Community, we challenge companies to sign the Climate Action Pledge to reduce their emissions and play an active role in tackling climate change. We don't just set the challenge, we also support our organisations with tools and guidance they need to help meet the pledge goals. Through our Business Action on Climate campaign, we offer a range of support, including educational resources like carbon literacy training to build awareness and skills across your workforce. We also offer practical tools such as guidelines and templates to help you measure and report your emissions, and webinars like today and also other events on key climate topics, along with tailored advisory support. All of this work is backed by a communications campaign, so there's lots of information available on our website, social media, and we also have a bit of policy influence too, helping to create the right environment for business to thrive. So I'm now going to play a short video that walks you through how to use the Pledge reporting platform.
Welcome to our 10-step guide to signing the Climate Action Pledge and submitting your greenhouse gas emissions data. As a pledge signatory, you'll need to report on your emissions data annually so that we can monitor progress towards your emissions reduction target. Let's get started. Step 1. Register on the Climate Action Pledge signatory reporting platform via the link in our how-to guide, which you can download at www.bitcni.org.uk/climate data. Step 2. Enter your company information and contact details. Step 3. Enter your baseline reporting year. If your reporting year is your financial year, please enter the day and month this commenced. If you report on your calendar year, just select the year. You will also be asked to provide your number of employees and turnover in that baseline year. Step 4. Finalise your registration on the platform by clicking the green button at the bottom of the screen. You will receive an email advising you to proceed with entering your emissions data and to sign the Climate Action Pledge. Please do not delete this email, as you will need to access the link in the future. Step 6. Click the link provided in the email to begin entering your data. At this point in the process, you'll be asked to add greenhouse gas emissions data and enter the current number of employees in your organisation within your reporting scope and provide information on turnover for the year you're reporting on. Please ensure you do not enter baseline year data within this section asking about the current year. To enter your emissions data, select the greenhouse gas emissions source, then the emissions type, the unit of measurement, and the value for the baseline year and the current year. You will only need to enter the baseline year data in the first year you have signed up to the pledge. After this, it will automatically appear each year that you complete your report back. List any details or documents you use to collate the data entered. This will help you to verify the data in the future. If you're unsure of emission source definitions, scroll down until you reach the green buttons that will provide you with definitions and conversion factors. Whilst the Climate Action Pledge only requires you to report on Scope 1 and 2 emissions, you can also record your Scope 3 emissions if you have this data, and these will be included in your emissions overview. To record Scope 3 emissions, simply tick the Scope 3 checkbox at the top of the greenhouse gas emissions entry field, select your emission source, and select the unit as kg CO2e. You can then enter your kg CO2e Scope 3 data. Please note your method of calculation in the comments box for verification purposes. Continue to add emissions entries for each source by clicking Add GHG Emission. Step 7. Saving your submission. You don't have to complete the form all in one go. Click the green Save button and return to it later via the access link in the original registration confirmation email. Step 8. Submit your data. When you're ready to submit, ensure all data is double-checked and entered correctly, and then accept the GDPR statement and click Submit. Step 9. Sign off. After submitting your data, you will see an emissions overview table on the screen. To finalise your submission, please select your pledge commitment target and upload an image of your CEO or Managing Director's signature to demonstrate that this has been approved at a senior level. Review the pledge document and agree to the terms before pressing the green Submit button. Step 10. A confirmation email will be sent to the email address provided with a report on your carbon footprint for the year. Business in the community will then contact you to send you a pledge certificate and a comms pack to share your achievement. Congratulations, you are now a Climate Action Pledge signatory.
So hopefully that video was helpful as a step-by-step guide to taking you through how to actually use the Pledge platform. That video is available on our website, and when you come to complete your data, it's actually very helpful if you can share and run that video while you're doing it. Just helps with those, quite a few steps there, just deals with those issues as you're going through it. So the annual data submission window is now open, and it will be open until Thursday the 26th of June. During this time, you'll need to submit the latest 12 months of emissions data for your organisation. You can report your annual data through the Pledge platform, like the video that we've just showed. And then your data that you will be submitted will be included in the Climate Action Pledge report, which we publish in partnership with EY, and that will be launched at an event at Titanic Belfast on the 25th of November this year, along with the Northern Ireland Environmental Benchmarking Survey results. And now we'll hear from NSERC's Amy Brown, who'll share a bit about NSERC's journey with the Climate Action Pledge.
Hi, my name's Amy Brown. I'm Environmental Analyst at NSERC, part of the Vajala Group. So we signed the Climate Action Pledge in 2020, where we committed to reducing our absolute Scope 1 and Scope 2 emissions by 50% by 2030, as well as working towards measuring and reporting our Scope 3 emissions. So our science-based carbon targets were actually verified at group level in 2022, with similar near-term and longer-term commitments to reducing our Scope 1, 2 and 3 greenhouse gas emissions. So the signing of the pledge really reinforced our commitment to the science-based targets and vice versa. In terms of gathering the data to support us with the pledge, we gathered our Scope 1 and Scope 2 data initially from 2019, which we used as a baseline year. So for Scope 1, with the manufacturing of glass being our main activity, we have large furnaces operating across lots of our sites. As a result, we participate in the UK ETS scheme, which means that we have our Scope 1 emissions data verified on an annual basis. So luckily we had this verified information to hand for recent years and years previous. So depending on the nature of your business, your Scope 1 emissions might look entirely different to ours. So it's definitely worth establishing what these are first. And it's also important to make sure that the information and data is accurate and everything's being accounted for. So for scope 2, this looks at your mains electricity usage for business operations. So we input our gross usage, and a conversion factor gives you your scope 2 emissions equivalent in tonnes. For scope 3, at the time of making the pledge in 2020, we were very much in the early stages of our scope 3 accounting journey. This is something that we have since progressed with, and demonstration of this work is also a key aspect of the pledge. So really, the Climate Action Pledge not only demonstrates a clear commitment from us at NSERC to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions, but consolidating this data is also really useful. It helps for clear targets to be set and allows us to drive informed decision making at executive level when it comes to plans for future decarbonisation of our operations. So thank you. I hope this video was useful, and wishing you all the best with the Climate Action Pledge.
So thanks to Amy for providing that insight. Before we move on to questions, I just want to briefly mention the Responsible Business Awards. These awards celebrate businesses in Northern Ireland that have gone beyond profit to make a positive impact on society and the environment. Entry is completely free, and organisations of all sizes and sectors are welcome to apply. You can enter as many categories as you like. The deadline for entries is this Friday at 5 p.m, and all our winners will be announced at an event on the 4th of September, ICC Belfast. So I'm now going to check with Hannah if we've got any questions.
No questions so far.
No questions. We've got a quiet bunch this morning. Give you a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds, and if we don't have any questions, we can close. There's nothing? Okay, well, we'll give you all some time back. So just want to thank you all for attending, and a big thank you to my colleague Hannah, who works away in the background preparing for these events and keeping us all right. If you do have any questions when you come to complete the pledge, please do reach out. We are here to help. The email address is on the screen, and it is environment@bitcni.org.uk. Okay, thank you everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.